The three natural regions of Peru.
Las tres regiones naturales del Perú.
It was raised in the Chronicle of Peru, written by Cieza de Leon, a Spanish conquistador and explorer born in 1520 Llerena, Spain, noted for his work as a chronicler and historian of the Andean world. The classification described by Cieza allows us to identify three large natural spaces known as coasts, mountains or jungle. Peruvian coasts. Costas peruanas. Regarding the coasts, Cieza elegantly contrasts the lush mangroves of the Ecuadorian coast with the deserts of the northern coastal region of today's Peru. Cieza was struck by the differentiation of the ecology as one moved south of the equator. He then specified the dryness of the northern coast of Peru, noting the absence of rain and the consequent need to resort to irrigation. We must also specify that the notion of coast, as we understand it today, and which was current at the time of Cieza de Leon's residence in the central Andes, was not known by the Andean settlers before the Spanish invasion. Among these, the differentiation between Urku dry and Uma wet was more current. The coast as a shore of the sea or a lake is something else. From the above, it can be extracted that the inhabitants of the time differentiated the spaces, among other variables, according to their climatic characteristics such as dry and humid. It should not be overlooked that Cieza already mentioned the existence of the Yungas and the snowy mountains that have subsequently been very well used by Pulgar.
Peruvian Highlands, Sierra Peruana.
Regarding the mountain, Cieza says that it is a place where the rivers flow. Being very high, the plains are sheltered and warm, so much so that in many parts it is hot as in these plains, referring to the coast. The inhabitants who live in them, even if they are in the mountains, are called Yungas. Cieza describes the mountain range as a very high place with deep valleys. He also indicates that they are places that were discovered and conquered. The rivers are so many, so large and of great depth. In the same way, he describes the existing populations, pointing out that there are people in towns with various customs, rites and strange ceremonies, as well as birds, animals, trees and fish so indifferent and unknown. It can be seen that the classification of mountain, as well as coast, is not arbitrary, but on the contrary had scientific support and was very rigorous for the time because it was based on climatic, biological and cultural diversity, among others. Factors. Mountains or Peruvian jungle. Montanas o selva peruana. Regarding the mountains, Cieza says that they are made up of many large rivers. Among them, the largest and most powerful is the San Juan River, which is populated by barbarian people who have houses built on large forks like barbecues or platforms. Many inhabitants live there because the canis or houses are long and very wide. These golden Indians are very rich, and the land they have is very fertile and the rivers carry abundance and full of paluds or lagoons, which in no way can be conquered. But it is at the expense of many people and with great work. Likewise, he points out that there are streams with good and very sweet water, and in the trees there are many peahens, pheasants, and painted cats and large snakes, and other nocturnal birds. Seems that it was never populated. The Marquis Don Francisco Pizarro was here with 13 Spanish Christian companions of his, who were the discoverers of this land we call Peru.